In modern finance, there is a brutal, invisible caste system, a highly optimized algorithmic filter that continuously reevaluates your right to exist within the institution based on a singular, cold metric: your capitalization. Most people walk into a bank lobby and see a community service, a safe vault for their hard-earned paycheck. They are entirely wrong. A bank is a data-driven extraction engine, and this isn't a matter of customer service. It is a fundamental mathematical analysis of institutional wealth management and standard banking tier mechanics that dictate exactly how much mercy, attention, and human dignity you are permitted to experience. Let us look at the 8 levels of this financial reality and expose how corporate indifference at scale is perfectly engineered to look exactly like cruelty. At the absolute bottom echelon, level 1, the system is designed to extract maximum value with zero human friction. You overdraft your account by a pathetic $4 because of a forgotten coffee subscription or an automated gym membership. The bank's algorithm doesn't care about the $4, nor does it care that you are struggling. The bank cares about the math, and the math triggers a mandatory $35 overdraft fee. This fee is not a penalty designed to teach you financial responsibility. That is the lie they print on the brochures. It is automated capitalization, a highly optimized mechanism designed to generate billions in high-margin revenue directly from those who have the absolute least liquidity. The penalty for being broke is that the institution actively, aggressively makes you more broke. Then, another $7 charge hits your account later that afternoon. That is another $35 fee. Suddenly, you owe $77 for a $4 mistake, your account is locked, and the walls are closing in. You try to call for help, but the system actively defends itself against you with endless loops of hold music and severely underpaid representatives reading from unyielding scripts, telling you that policies absolutely cannot be reversed at this time. You skip meals silently, telling your coworkers you already ate, and when you finally walk into the branch, the teller doesn't see a human being in distress. She looks at her screen and sees a risk score with shoes. You are not a customer here. You are a problem, a statistical error to be swept away. Congratulations, you eventually pull 20 hours of agonizing overtime to reach level 2, a $200 balance. You are no longer in the negative, but the bank notices your meager survival and rewards you by quietly withdrawing a $12 or $15 monthly maintenance fee. Why? Because you do not meet their arbitrary $1,500 minimum balance requirement, meaning you are quite literally paying a multi-billion-dollar bank a monthly subscription fee to hold the money you barely have. When you try to build your life and apply for a credit card, they offer you the absolute insulting joke of a secured card. They demand that you give them $300 of your own money to hold as collateral, just so they can lend your own cash back to you and mathematically bleed you with 24% interest for the privilege. You decline the trap, your tire blows out on a Tuesday morning, and you are forced to take the bus 3 hours late in the freezing rain because your entire operational flow in life is dictated by a total lack of financial access. When you visit the branch, the teller processes you with a trained, lifeless smile in exactly 40 seconds. You aren't insulted, you aren't yelled at, you are just moved through the system like cheap luggage on a conveyor belt. You exist on their ledger, but you do not exist in their attention. But then something shifts. You reach level 3, the $2,000 balance, and you become the profitable target. Your $1,600 direct deposit hits consistently every 2 weeks, and suddenly, the system waives your maintenance fee automatically. You did not become a better, more moral person. Your behavioral data simply matched a profile that earns the bank reliable money. The exact same institution that wouldn't even look at you 8 months ago is suddenly flooding your mailbox with pre-approved credit cards offering $2,000 limits at 22% interest, with your name printed in shiny metallic ink. You get instantly approved for a $5,000 car loan at an 11% rate in 48 hours. You realize the cruel, raw truth of the American economy. The bank does not care who you are, what your dreams are, or how hard you work. They only care what your behavioral data looks like, and at $2,000, You finally look like a compliant entity they can confidently trap in a cycle of high-interest consumer debt. You are no longer invisible, but you certainly aren't respected. You are just meat for the grinder. You are profitable. At level 4, the $15,000 mark, the relationship fundamentally shifts from monetizing your risk to preserving your capital. Your credit limit spontaneously doubles from $4,000 to $9,500 without you even submitting an application. The algorithm just decided you were worth more rope. You suddenly get a phone call from an actual human being, a relationship banker who gives you a direct line and bypasses the hold music. When you buy a car, your interest rate miraculously drops to 6.8%. This is not because you became a master negotiator. It is because you stopped being a risk to their operational model, and they need to keep you hooked. A stray $32 fee appears on your statement. You shoot a quick email to your banker, and it is reversed in 3 hours with zero friction, no phone trees, and no scripted apologies. The cruel reality is that indifference at scale is absolute brutality at the bottom, but at $15,000, it transforms into optionality. You reach level 5, $80,000, and you are now officially labeled a preferred client, a prestigious title earned entirely by the zeros in your balance. Your banker, David, emails you on your birthday and casually asks about your sister in Chicago. Do not mistake this for friendship. This is advanced, psychologically manipulative sales training designed to build false personalization and dramatically reduce capital switching costs. The bank knows that small, engineered emotional touches keep large accounts from migrating to competitors. You walk into the branch, and a manager literally guides you past the velvet rope line where everyone else is waiting the exact same miserable line you stood in when you had $200. The bank mails you a pre-approval for a massive $400,000 mortgage before you have even started looking for a property. The price of money is no longer something you have to beg for and negotiate. It is proactively offered to you on a silver platter. Competitor banks somehow get your number and call to poach your capital, and your bank instantly counters their offers to make you stay. You are no longer just a preferred client. You are a yielding asset worth deploying corporate resources to defend. At level 6, $500,000, holistic optimization begins, and the bank stops being a physical building you visit. It becomes a bespoke service that comes to you. A wealth management colleague drives a luxury sedan to your corporate office, bringing printed, bound reports in a leather folder to discuss intricate tax avoidance structures, offshore sheltering, and generational estate plans. They absolutely do not try to sell you a checking account or a standard loan because the selling already happened years ago. You are now being consulted and making you fundamentally need. Their systemic architecture is worth vastly more than a one-time product sale. A frozen international wire transfer is fixed on the second ring of a phone call without a single script being read. You are invited to highly exclusive, private dinners hosted by the bank, overlooking the city skyline, where the word money is never actually mentioned, because at this echelon, money is simply the environment you breathe, not the topic of conversation. You are human capital, and they must secure you against the wolves of other institutions. Level 7 is $5 million, the true entry into private banking. Private banking is not a service. It is a legally binding relationship, and relationships at this level do not follow the rules. They actively negotiate and rewrite them. Your private banker manages fewer than 20 accounts globally. The interest rate on your commercial mortgage is not published on any website or brochure. It is entirely bespoke, whispered over a mahogany table. The rigid investment minimums that block the middle class from actual wealth generation are casually and instantly waived for you. Compliance paperwork that takes 2 agonizing weeks for a normal human being is pushed through the legal department in 48 hours, purely because of the weight and consequence of the name on the account. You sit in highly secured, specialized conference rooms with absolutely no corporate logos on the glass, looking at lucrative private equity deals that will never, ever appear on a public prospectus for the working class to see. At $5 million, the bank completely stops enforcing its rules and starts aggressively bending the laws of finance specifically to benefit you. Finally, you reach level 8, $25 million and above. You are an institutional partner. At this towering echelon, you are an explicit, named line item in the performance reviews of senior banking executives. Entire highly paid careers inside the institution are organized around the singular goal of not losing your massive capital pool. You absolutely do not apply for things anymore. Things apply to you. Exotic investments and pre-IPO stock options are brought to you months before they exist in the public reality. The real shift here is not just about unlimited access. It is about systemic influence. The chief investment officer of the bank boards a private jet to fly out and ask for your personal opinion on emerging market trends. You are actively shaping the policy of the exact same monolithic institution that once charged you $35 for being broke and drove you to skip meals. The bank doesn't have a customer at $25 million. It has a strategic partner that dictates the flow of the global economy. And somewhere right now, at this exact second, someone is staring at a cracked smartphone screen, watching a $35 fee mathematically drain their checking account into the negative over a $4 cup of coffee. They are terrified. They think the financial system is broken. It isn't broken. It is working flawlessly, exactly the way it was designed, built, and optimized to work. The exact same institution that will one day fly a private jet to consult them is currently surgically engineered to bleed them absolutely dry to subsidize the yachts of the people at level 8. You are the exact same human being at every single level, flesh and bone, but the institution fundamentally creates, validates, or destroys your entire identity based on the numbers sitting next to your name. The bank never changes its nature. It merely reveals the full, terrifying spectrum of its optimized mechanics, cleanly, coldly, and perfectly separating the human from the capital.